This video will help you in two ways. Number one, it will help you identify the problem of discontentment in your life and those close to you, like your friends and family. Number two, it will give you practical solutions on how to deal with the problem of discontentment. In our last video, we looked at how discontentment and contentment affects our finances. We have pinned the link to that video on the description box so that you can have a look at it so that you understand where we are coming from. This is the second and the last part. Welcome to Cutting for Dominion, the space where we learn life skills, pursue purpose, and have dominion in every area of our lives. My name is Victor Kibet. So what are the signs of discontentment? Number one, jealousy and envy. Jealousy is simply being unhappy with progress that people are having in their lives. So for example, people who are close to you, maybe your siblings, your friends, someone has bought land, someone has bought a car, someone has gotten a promotion in their place of work. How do you react? How do you respond to those news? And how do your children respond to good things happening in the lives of their friends? For example, one of them has a new toy, or they have gone to an holiday in a different destination. So what is their reaction? Jealousy is saying, I want what you have. But envy is worse, because envy says, I want what you have, but since I cannot have it, I don't also want you to have it. It is that bad. Now, we need to examine our lives and see, how do we receive the news of progress in the lives of other people? If it is negative, it means we have a problem of discontentment. But when it is positive, when we are genuinely celebrating the progress of others, it tells us that there is contentment within us. We are okay with our lives. That is why we have the space to celebrate other people. Number two is anxiety. Anxiety is being in a state of unease or worry because you are worried about the outcome of something which you are not certain how it will turn out. Now, when people compare their lives with other people, with the lives of other people, it brings pressure from within them. It creates pressure within them. And when this happens, people become desperate, they become unhappy because they fall short of what they want to be. So it is graduating now from jealousy and envy to a place of being anxious. Just being anxious because you are not able to get that which you want to have. You are not able to achieve what other people have achieved. And it is because you are competing. You want your life to be like those of other people. And this takes us back again. You see, even jealousy is just about wanting something, not genuinely because you need it, but because other people have. And so this problem has now escalated, and it puts someone in a place where they are anxious. Now, this is a very bad place to be because your emotions are out of control. You get angry easily. You get frustrated. You feel desperate to be or to have what other people have. And this is a very clear sign of discontentment. We want things not because of a genuine drive, not because of the objectives that we have in life, but because other people have those things. Number three is a consistent statement that you make is this, and I quote, I will be happy when ... This is saying, I will wait for something to happen, and when that thing happens, then I'll start being happy. Looking at your life, for example, you may recall how when you wanted to clear high school meant everything to you. And maybe you thought to yourself, when I finish high school, then I'm able to enjoy life. I'll be happy. But when you finished high school, you realize there is more. There is going to campus. There is getting a job. There is having a family. There is being able to progress in your career. There is building a home. There is having kids. And so all the time, those steps, as you pursue them, you think that this is the thing that is going to give me contentment, or this is the thing that is going to make me happy. And that target keeps on moving. Now, remember, contentment is not a destination. Contentment is not a place that we are from or we are going to. No, it is a state of the heart, a state of peace and joy, irrespective of where you are now in life. Even as you pursue other things, you are happy with where you are. So when you find yourself always saying, I will be happy when, then know there is discontentment in you, and you need to search and find, what do I need to do so that I be comfortable with where I am? I will appreciate where I am, even as I pursue the things that I dream about. Now, what is the solution to the problem of discontentment? We have looked at the science. We have seen how we can identify discontentment. Then what are the solutions? Number one is gratitude. Gratitude is simply appreciating what we have in life. We say attitude of gratitude, having a perspective, an attitude of gratitude, of appreciating what is happening in life. So a heart that is full of gratitude has no space for discontentment. You see, there are many things in life that we take for granted. And most of the things that we have in life, 80% of those things are good. 20% is what has some issues, some challenges here and there, but it is not really that bad. So for example, if you focus on the 20%, which could represent the weaknesses in your spouse, and you ignore the 80%, the power of focus will make you see your spouse as a person, not an ideal spouse or not a good spouse to you. Your children, if you look at 20% weaknesses in your children, you will have this idea or this impression that your kids are the worst kids ever. Even your job, at your workplace, if you focus on the 20% challenges, then it will look like the worst job ever. But that is not the case. And I want you to think, for example, if all the things that you complain about were taken away from you, would you ask for them back? Would you ask for those things? For example, if your kids were taken away from you, if you always complain about them, if you always complain about your job, if that job was taken away from you, your spouse, if he or she was taken away from you, would you want to have them back? Chances are yes. And what do you want them to come back? It means the positive things, the good things about them are so much compared to the negative or their weaknesses. So this is what we lose when we fail to focus on the positive thing. And there is an exercise that can help us to focus on the positive things. You see, there is a song that we sing that we say, count your blessings, name them one by one, and you will be surprised what the Lord has done. And it is true. And this exercise is about counting your blessings one by one. And this is the use of a journal. We can call it a gratitude journal. It is simply a book or a notebook where every day you write at least one thing that you are grateful for in life. Simple things of life. It does not have to be something big. It does not have to be something that seems to be out of this world. So for example, if you are in town and it is raining heavily and you have a car, you can drive to your home, or you have money that you can pay public transport and you can get access to your home without being rained on. That is something to appreciate, and you can write that in your journal, gratitude journal, and say, today it was raining heavily, I was in town, but I'm grateful that I could afford to pay for my transport up to my doorstep. Or I'm grateful I have a car, I was able to drive all the way to my house and I was not rained on. Because there are people who had to wait for the rain to subside so that they could walk. There are some people who had to walk through the rain and they were rained on. So these are small things which we take for granted, but they are very impactful in our lives. And when you do this every day, 2 things, 3 things, whatever number you are able to do, but at least do one, over a period of time, subconsciously, you are starting to shift your mind, your focus from the place of discontentment to the place of contentment. Why? Because you are moving from focusing on the negatives to the positives. So try to do this exercise, and when you review what you have done, you'll be amazed. So for example, you can decide, I'm going to review what I have written in 2 weeks, for example, every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, you take your journal and you read, you see what has been happening, what have I been grateful for. This is now counting your blessings, naming them one by one. Then you realize, wow, there are great things happening in my life. And as you do that subconsciously, you are starting to change your attitude. You are starting to have an attitude of gratitude. So please do that exercise. And sometimes it might seem boring, but please make sure that you do it every day. Just be intentional. Just reflect on your day and be intentional. Whatever you write, make sure that in your heart, you really mean it. You are really grateful for it. And this will change your story. Number 2, and the final solution, is giving. Giving leads to humility, and humility leads to gratitude. And as we have looked at the first point, gratitude leads to contentment. Now, humility is not looking down on yourself. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. This is what I mean. When I say humility is not thinking less of yourself, I mean humility is not despising yourself. It is not looking down upon yourself. Instead, it is thinking of yourself less, meaning you are thinking less of yourself. You are not becoming self-centered, but you are becoming other-centered. And when we become other-centered, focus moves away from us. Because you see, the biggest contributor to discontentment is thinking, what do I have? What don't I have? Why don't I have these things? But when you start focusing on others, you start releasing yourself from that pressure. And this is what giving does. Subconsciously, giving tells you, and it tells the world, and I quote, I not only have enough for me, I have enough to share with you. I have enough to share with the rest. So that is how your mind is being tuned every time you give. And giving means you could give money, you could give services, you could help people, you could use your talent to help others. It doesn't have to be about money all the time, but it is just serving others by using whatever you have. And so when you focus on that, there is a shift that is going to happen. There is a shift. You certainly realize that I can be a blessing to others. And when you hear how your giving has impacted other people, you realize that there is a joy that comes into you, a joy that you could not get by any other means. Then you realize that the things that I've been seeking, the things that I've been wanting to achieve, the things that I've been wanting to buy so that I get contentment or feel the joy, are not actually the things I should be focusing on. I should just be looking at how do I serve others? How do I give myself to be a blessing to others? And then my life becomes full of contentment. So I want to encourage you to see how can you serve others? How can you give to others in whatever way? Then you will realize there is going to be a shift. You start all of a sudden being happy, being content, and having just a positive vibe towards life. And the Bible tells us in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6, but godliness with contentment is great gain. That is a wonderful word. Thank you very much for coming with us this far. I invite you to interact with us in our social media spaces, all under the name Coaching for Dominion. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and our website, www.coachingfordominion.com. www.coachingfordominion.com. Thank you very much. See you in our next video. Practice what we have learned today, and you will experience great change in your life. Thank you.